Hey everybody, and welcome back to PaperNautCast Volume 3. Here with you today is me, Jason, the director and founder of Paper Nautilus Studios, and
I'm Alex. Woo!
I think did you throw any gravel in the last ad?
I did. I threw some kitty litter.
A kitty litter.
It was kitty litter.
Because that's how we do around here. I just kind of want to talk about, like, Alex, you're really kind of exploding in what you do. You're gonna be the one editing this podcast.
No, don't put me on the spot. If it's terrible, everyone's gonna.
Oh yeah, I'm totally negating any personal responsibility on this one.
I was talking about.
Well,
Bleep.
yeah, so we're coming in really
No.
quickly after our second ad dropped, Insurmountable Odds, which personally highly recommended. I think it's quite well done and very entertaining.
It was real. I've seen it. I watched it today, and I was there for filming, and I saw filming, and I saw some stuff. Post-production work. It was very nicely done, Jason.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I think we did a lot of work on this one as far as kind of the post processing on it. We put some effects in there, and
Blood bag exploded.
yeah, it was a good time. It was the first time I think I've ever worked with a fake blood, and we used a recipe that Oh, you want to say it? We'll talk about that after.
No, yeah.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that, but we'll do that after the fact, because if you haven't seen the ad, go ahead and pause this podcast right now, and we'll be waiting for you.
All right, go check it out. BELLUM ad number 2, Insurmountable Odds.
And we're back.
How did you enjoy that?
Leave your comments below.
We just watched it together as well. I'm impressed.
I thought this is the first time that we're watching it on like we're watching it on a television.
This is true. The first time I saw it, I was on mobile on my lunch break.
Yeah, and I'm always watching it on my computer monitor, which, I mean, it's pretty large, but I never watch it. And if anybody's ever edited before, they know that, like, the actual thing you're watching is a lot smaller than your monitor. But on big screen, whoa, it's a lot of impressive content. But yeah, so what'd you think about it?
Me?
Yeah, you. Who else am I talking? I'm talking to the audience.
Yeah, that's all.
Leave your comments below. I'll wait.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll read them while we're
on air.
No, it was good. It had a different feel than the first ad that we have, Emergency Broadcast, which you can also see if you haven't seen yet. And you can see what I'm talking about. They both feature a large mech, but in ad 1 you don't see it. You actually just hear it, and that's the first time we're introduced to the mechs. And then you watch ad 2, and it's completely different characters. There's 2 characters instead of Duncan, who was our lone representative in ad 1. And then in ad 2, the mech, you actually see a portion of the mech, and that's really all you can see because it's so massive. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. So I'm not going to tell everyone how you made a "that's what she said" face. He made a "that's what she said" face, which, to be fair, I did. That is what I said, and I am a she, so I said that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, we made a very conscious decision to kind of go with, our first ad was a little slow burning. And this second ad is a lot more, like the first one, like we even put in like a score. We put in like a soft kind of like undertone of music to combine with everything that was kind of going on set. And there was a lot of like information being thrown at you through the radio. And this one, we were just like, let's hit it with some action. And, and apparently, in massive amounts of blood dripping.
The blood drip from our actor Michael, who plays Yalek, his hand, the blood dripping from the hand is like my favorite because it's not a post-production effect or anything. It's real. It's the fake blood that we made.
It's a handful of blood.
Just falling from our other actor, Brian, just coming out of a bag that he's got in his
You mean
top.
a bullet wound?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I remember when I was cutting through the footage, I ended up seeing that clip on that particular take, and I'm just like, yeah, this is getting in there. I think that was one of the.
That might be why we have a warning graphic content.
I put that there. Yeah, that's most definitely why there's that warning graphic content solely for this like blood dripping shot, which will inevitably get us banned from more discerning countries. Probably put us on a watch list. We witnessed a murder.
I did put a caption on the video that it is fake. Yeah. It's fake blood and a fake weapon. It's not like a snuff film where someone's dying on camera. I was going to whip in
and be like, we witnessed a murder because we killed that ad. We killing it. Are you reading? Are you on Facebook during the podcast?
I'm just looking at some stabilizers. This is me. I am looking at stabilizers, and
I will confirm that she actually turned it over. I thought I was calling her out on the podcast. She turned over her phone, and it was in fact an Immortan stabilizer. I don't know if she swiped to find that.
No. One day we'll have a video podcast, and I will put my phone on screen if he decides to call my bluff, which I normally always win.
She's going to put it on like top of the scanner bed and scan like an image of her cell phone in order to put it in the podcast.
But would you even be able to see it? The lines?
I mean, I don't know. No, I don't think it would just come up as like white or something, right? Because that's the way that light on a scanner. If anybody knows how a scanner works,
Comment below.
Leave it in the comments below. Let us know your opinions, your theories, your crackpot conspiracy theories about how scanners work. Anyway, back to the ad. Yeah, it was a really we made the set in a day, and I met up with Alex, and we bought costumes.
With Brian.
Oh yeah, we met Brian.
One of our PAs.
Brian M. We met.
We met him at a reused clothing store. Refurbished.
Yeah, so we met him there. We picked up some stuff, some fake blood stuff. We really put a lot of things together. By the time that the rest of the crew and cast started showing up, we couldn't have asked for a better production team on this one. Like I already mentioned, Franco Zamorano, who is our producer. But I mean, of course, we also had Casey Cummings as our camera op, Albert Herrera as our first AC, Chris Camacho coming back for sound.
Coming back from him and Casey worked on Ad 1.
Yeah, I mean, Casey at the time was a PA, and he's moved up the camera op. Franco was actually on set on this one, which is why he's also credited as first AD. Keegan Donofrio making his return appearance, constantly changing roles. Location manager, second AC. He'd also did some special effects and other things. A jack of all trades, master of none. We also had Zach Herrera and Brian Milhorn come in as PAs on this one, which are great guys. They really saved the day on this. We had a green screen set up for that final shot, and one of the things was that we just decided to film on the windiest day here on the West Coast, and
which we didn't realize because on the weather, all it said was that it was the sunniest day of the week. So
yeah, it was a catch-22. And so the thing is that when you set up a green screen outdoors like that, when it's windy, what it becomes is a huge sailboat minus the boat. And so it was constantly blowing in the wind. And Brian Milhorn, who's like 6'2" or something, he's a pretty tall guy. He had the arm span to hold this thing, just battle against the wind to kind of hold it up during the whole shoot. until the combined knowledge of Brian Milhorn, Zachary Herrera, and Keegan Donofrio decided to get a bench, no, a stool, and like put bricks on it and tie the green screen to the stool. And these are like legitimate. Okay, so they're not like red bricks. They're not like classically red bricks. They're like the paving square bricks.
Oh yeah,
They're like
they
probably what, 2.5, 3 pounds each.
Yeah, I mean they were pretty substantial.
They're hefty bricks.
And so I guess it also didn't help that the way that we were facing, as you said, with the sail, it kind of like the way that the green screen was facing, it was just like
90-mile-an-hour winds.
picking up the wind. I weigh about like 130, and I had to hold up for one portion because the sun was at the wrong angle, and I had to hold up this like white
A reflector.
poster. Yes, a reflector. And it was like a white but it was so thin, and I was like, yeah, I can totally do this. And then a gust of wind just kind of caught me, and I almost fell over, but I didn't want to be the one to like ruin the shot. So I like it was rough. I thought like 130 was a substantial weight to like stand up against the wind, and I was wrong.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy windy, so I really appreciate those guys stepping up to the plate and holding that thing down. Holding it down.
Hey, figuratively
But,
and physically.
But yeah, I definitely I want to take a moment to appreciate how amazing our actors were for this shoot.
Yay!
They were literally contacted kind of relatively out of the blue in regards to the project. And first of all, one of our actors, Brian got shot in the gut. Baker.
He didn't really get shot.
Playing Frank. And Michael, I hope I'm going to pronounce your name correctly.
Sousa?
Sosa?
Is it Sosa?
Michael S.
That's what I've been calling him.
Also did an amazing job. I feel terribly because we were not able to get a lot of coverage on his face.
It was all of that luscious hair.
Yeah,
It was
he
just
had
constantly covering his face, and we didn't want to ask him to sacrifice and cut his hair for the shoot. So
for a militia fighter, his hair was far too glamorous, far too. I don't know. I feel like after this ad, because we didn't get enough of his like, and he was doing just purely amazing, and you can hear some of like the sounds that he was doing, some of his just like physical emotions, and you could see in the shots of his face that you do see, you just get to see just like a pocket glimpse of just the pure talent he was bringing to the role. And the end shot where you just see his back, we did a disservice by not being able to pick up a shot of just the reaction on his face. And everyone,
But I feel like even then, his like body language you kind of get it, and you don't even need to see him. So I almost feel like,
oh no,
whoa,
I mean,
how much could we get if we'd actually seen his face?
that's what I'm saying. Like, he did such a great job that it really didn't matter what angle we caught it from. It's just like it wasn't a reliance on his face to be able to sell what was going on. It was he embodied the whole thing completely. And our mistake not to get, because everyone that I've showed it to who's been on the film has just been like, did you get any pictures of any shots of Michael's face when he turns around the corner? It's just the despair on his face. I'm like, nah, dude, we didn't get it.
Well, I think that was part of it, right? Is because you don't want to see it. I kind of think, for me, it was like, oh, I get to be, like I get to be Michael's character, and hopefully they survived. I'd like to see them again or at least see Michael's face.
Yeah, I would do a whole video of just him reacting to stuff. No, he was such
Maybe we'll do
he was such a good guy. We had another actor who had dropped out, and he got on board with the role literally the night before, and he put in so much enthusiasm. I was texting back and forth with him, and he was asking questions, and he really wanted to get involved, and I definitely hope that we'll be able to work with him again.
and Brian as well.
Brian's performance
B
speaks for itself.
Was all yes. I think that's why. Maybe that's why the shots kind of leaned more towards featuring him so much more. It's because Brian was like giving it like even when we weren't filming yet, he was already like.
Brian was on the spot because I had asked him, I think the prior week, I was like, hey, we're doing a shoot, and do you want to come in and act for us? And he was down, and then literally pretty much by the time that he reached set, he was like, okay, so what are we doing? And I was like, we're going to be covering you in gallons of fake blood.
And he was down.
He was. In fact, he got covered in probably so much fake blood that we gave him that shirt and pants. So it's not like we did him dirty.
Yes.
I think we get to see a lot more of him because that's where a lot of the action is taking place as far as being shot and having a hole in your stomach.
Yeah, I think because he's the wounded one, he's more not appealing to look at, but I think since it is an action sequence, it's more entertaining is definitely the wrong word.
The action of the short follows the gun, the one thing that they have between the two of them. It's because the minute that the gun is removed from Brian's hands, he's no longer the point of interest. It's suddenly Michael or Yalek. Suddenly Yalek steps up to the plate after he has the gun. I watch Cantonese news on Tuesday nights, and one of my favorite newscasters is Yalek. I have absolutely no idea what he's saying, and yet I still watch. Frank is also a name of another newscaster that we really enjoy.
Oh my gosh, I did just realize that you named them after. I know Frank. I don't know him. I wish I did. Can we say his name?
Frank Autumntown.
I guess we can't say his name. I really want to. Frank Autumntown. No one else is going to appreciate that as much as me. I thought that was so clever. I'm laughing really hard on the inside.
But yeah, otherwise it was a really great shot, and I couldn't have asked for more. Everybody kind of stepped up to different jobs, doing different things. A lot of people had to do multiple things. Our producer, who's also our first AD, was also our fog machinist.
Because we had 11 people total on set, and we actually might have needed a few more hands.
I remember Franco was telling me, he was like, you're going to have way too many people on set. I was like, that's cool. People can stand around and kind of learn, see what's going on, have a good time. Lo and behold, we had our first AD producer operating fog, our set photographer holding reflectors, and people throwing kitty litter.
Yeah, the PAs were doing sound effects as well. Also, Brian M. was helping me with costumes before our actors got in.
Did I credit him for? I did credit him for costume.
You did, yes.
Oh yeah, our set photographer was also our makeup and costume.
Yay! Is it because I'm a woman? No. It's definitely not.
Now, how does that explain Brian?
Why do you? I love how you have to make the distinction, like because Brian B. It's totally no Brian B. Typical. He does makeup.
I need to find like 3 more Brians and just have them all on set at the same time.
You know, that's not the only. You say we had 2 Brians on set, which is why we've been distinguishing Brian B. and Brian M. Which. B and M. Come on. Okay.
If we had our DP from Emergency Broadcast, Mike Chan, we would have had Mike and Michael.
One of the other guys' middle names is Christopher.
Oh, I think it's Brian.
Which is why Brian Christopher Baker.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Christopher Camacho, Zachary Camacho Herrera, also Albert Herrera.
This
Small
is the
world.
most convoluted portion of the podcast.
Hater. I'm going to cut all of your portions, and I'm just going to be talking to myself about Frank Autumntown.
Oh.
Okay, can we talk about the sticky corn syrup blood
Yeah, it was.
and how well it washes out of clothes?
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable. We watched the costumes that were just caked. If you watch the ad, which all of you should have by this point, there's so much blood. Real quick, so much blood. The blood bag was. These guys filling the blood bag thought it would be a good idea. It's like, oh yeah, we'll take like a sandwich size bag and just fill it to where it's completely packed. It's like, oh, okay, so you have like a pint and a half of blood inside of this Ziploc bag that we're just gonna burst open on. There was one shot where just like they were working the blood bag and just this like sploosh of blood just like arcs out of the wound.
Maybe we'll do blood bag for jugular.
I mean, let's put it. I mean, for the amount of blood that we probably needed for the shot, we could have most likely have gotten away with a soup spoon's worth.
But it looked really good
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot
It
of
it
blood.
turned out really, really well. Incidentally,
I think it also, it lends itself to the dire situation because it looks like Frank has lost a lot of blood.
we worked it out. Keegan and I, we examined Brian's wound, taking into account how much blood that he lost. And we're like, oh, is that like maybe a pint, 2 pints of blood? Yeah, he'd be in serious pain right now. He'd be contracting and contorting in that manner. He'd be screaming out. And
Passed
yeah,
out
he'd
for sure.
probably pass out, which he does. Or does he die? But yeah, so he does whatever he does at the end. It all seems relatively believable. But we diagnosed the bullet wound and tried to put up diagrams to see where it would have hit him and so on and so
It's very
forth.
scientific. I'm proud of you,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
but it was after the fact. So it's just,
I'm still proud.
I appreciate it. But yeah, no, the extra amount of blood definitely looked great. It was not great very quickly after.
Yes. Yeah. Because it was basically candy
It dried like hard candy.
and quickly. It turned sticky really fast, and then it just kind of, you touched whatever you touched and then you were stuck to it, and then once you managed to pull yourself off of it, it was rock candy basically, like
It was a
on whatever item
mixture.
that was.
It was a mixture of hard candy plus glue plus cement.
Yeah.
We took Michael's costume pants, and of which a lot of things were kind of going in and out of his pockets that were covered in blood between takes. And it was evident in the actual footage, but we didn't realize this until afterwards that when we had taken the costumes to get washed, you couldn't even open the pockets. There were things in the pockets that we still needed out of the pockets, and the only way to get them out was that we had to cut holes in the pockets. to
We
remove them.
actually had to cut holes in the pocket to retrieve basically a pair of scissors that were in the pocket. They were like medical shears that were in one of the pockets. Originally, Michael's character, is supposed to have some type of gauze or anything in his pockets to kind of help Brian's character, Frank, stop the bleeding or whatever. But the corn syrup blood was just too sticky. Michael would stick his hands in one of his pockets and it would coat the pocket.
There was a really great take back when we were still using gauze where Michael was trying to pull gauze out of his pocket and grab the gun, and everything was sticking together. Literally everything he touched stuck to other things he touched. And it's almost, I almost want to put it up as like a bonus scene because the performance is so great. They don't break.
Yeah.
I was cracking up behind the camera. There's so much frustration. It plays
I think
so well.
yeah. I think you know what?
It was,
It was really good. Bravo for Michael. Bravo to Michael for staying in character, and for Brian not breaking either. It's kind of like he wasn't supposed to be, twisting and writhing in pain for that long, because once Michael has the gun, we move off of Brian because he's supposed to have passed out, and then it's Michael versus the mech. Oh, David versus. Can I say that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can.
Or
I think
David versus
copyright.
Goliath.
I think copyright on that is far expired.
All right.
But
Yay.
yeah, no. Going back to Brian's performance, something I forgot to mention earlier. Brian's performance was so good on the grounds that I think the only thing I told him when he asked me, he said, "Oh, what am I doing in the scene? What's my motivation? What am I supposed to be?" I was like, "You just got shot in the stomach," and then I basically walked away. That everything else was just purely him.
Brian takes direction very well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, granted, we did some work, but I mean, ultimately, those guys brought it, and they brought really natural performances. It was a pleasure working with them both, and everyone else on set.
It was really nice working with them. It was the first time I had met either of them. Actually, it was the first time I met most of the people on set. I know Jason, Keegan, and Brian. And Zach. No, I have met Zach a few times as well. So it was my first time meeting a majority of the cast, and they were, I believe, excuse me, most of them know each other through, various means, and I was surprised, and in a good way, at how easily we all gelled, me not knowing them. I think Brian M and myself and Zach might have been the only ones who didn't know the others. And so everyone was very welcoming. It was easy to work with them. So I would love to work with them again if they would like to work with me again too.
But yeah, on that note, hopefully we'll all be getting together again soon. Our intentions are to start. We just locked the script for Ad 3.
Yay!
Going into production in about a few weeks. Giving ourselves a little bit more of leeway time. And definitely not as labor intensive on this one. We're hoping. But I think it's going to be good.
Well, the original Ad 2 wasn't supposed to be labor intensive, and look at what happened.
The script's locked. I can't change it as much as I would like to. In the meantime, we have Cut to Cut Volume 1. This time following a full episode of Keegan, one step closer on his journey to lose 80 pounds.
Oh, wow. Is it 80?
It is 80. Tune in to see where he weighs in next.
Where did he start?
At 290.
I don't remember seeing that in the 0.5. I don't know.
That's what episode 1's for. You tease
okay.
the weight to see where he's at. After that, we'll be hitting you guys with another random rotating form of content. It's going to be new. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be different every month. And then immediately following that week will be the release of Ad 3, currently named Natural Order.
Ooh, I like that.
Do you?
I do. It's very intriguing.
She hasn't read the script yet, so that's good.
It's true. I'm not going to lie. It kind of reminds me of like... And the...
undescribed physical action.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's it. Alex, you have any closing thoughts this week?
I do not. Please, if you haven't already, go check out some of our Instagram handles. We have some behind the scenes footage since we didn't show and watch the Ad 2 Insurmountable Odds with you this time like we did with Ad 1. Leave comments. Otherwise, we'll see you soon.
Thanks everybody for sticking around with us. That's going to be it for us for today. If you want to check out some more of our content, be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. And for the most part, I think that's it. We hope that you guys stick around and watch us grow. So be sure to like and subscribe. See some more videos coming at you soon. Alex?
Bye.